Thanks, Joe.
Now, let's talk about eligibility here. We did talk about it a little bit in the earlier segment, but I want to just get this down for our veterans. Who is eligible for this benefit?
I'll break it down into three sections. So the military, the medical, and the financial.
Sure.
The military eligibility requirements are a minimum of 90 days in the military, one of those days during wartime. 1 day, 24 hours, that's it. A discharge other than dishonorable. There are some administrative discharges and general discharges that are acceptable. And then lastly, the veteran must be age 65 or older, or the surviving spouse of a veteran must be 65 or older. If the veteran is not 65, but they are deemed permanently and totally disabled by Social Security Administration, they're eligible to apply for this benefit if they're disabled. Not for a military reason, but for medical or some other disability. And that's basically the military requirement. The medical requirement is that the person needs assistance of another person for their activities of daily living. The first part of the benefit, which is basic, would be income related. So if they're below $985 of income on a monthly basis, a veteran, they could apply for this benefit to supplement their income up to at least a minimum of $985. Now, the second and third tier of the benefit is related to the medical. To be deemed homebound and get a higher attendance benefit, if you will, the person cannot be driving. It means they are reliant on someone else to get them to their medical appointments, so on and so forth. And that's really the key qualifier for homebound. It's a little bit less, it's the middle tier, but it's significant. And then the third tier is aid and attendance, which is why the benefit kind of got the name aid and attendance, because most folks go for it, or when they learn about it, they need care. They need the assistance of another person on a daily basis. It does not have to be a licensed medical person. But if you have someone that comes in daily, assists with bathing, gives you medication reminders, prepares meals, cleans the house, goes food shopping, those are all activities that would be countable medical expense, whatever you pay for those services. And there's different, it's not only that you have to be in a facility or you have to be in a VA facility to get this benefit. The benefit covers, and a lot of people are really surprised when they learn that it will supplement the cost to have a family caregiver, who could be a friend or a family member, can't be your spouse, who's doing this on an informal basis. And informal caregiving is what 70% of the caregiving in this country is, and it's not paid. The VA benefit could cover the cost of a family caregiver or a friend. And you'd have transportation issues. So it would cover family caregivers, home care services, even adult daycare services, assisted living, any kind of memory care, and also for skilled nursing home, if the person is in a private pay situation, and to help supplement. So it's a significant benefit, and if it's done correctly and the paperwork is processed correctly, it's such a relief to many people to know it's out there. And with the economic times the way they are, people are really worried about keeping their jobs. They might be, losing time from work because taking mom or dad to the doctor or getting 20 phone calls. Here's a resource that they can tap into. The money goes directly to the veteran, and you can pay someone to come in and supplement and bring services so that you're not being disturbed during your workday, or you can take a night and go to Atlantic City or something like that. So it's an important benefit that people need to know that it's out there. So I say if you're a veteran and you served during World War II, they're dwindling. Korea or Vietnam, and you don't have a copy of your discharge papers, you can visit va.gov or veteranfiles.com. It's right there how you go about getting a copy of your discharge papers. That's where you start. You may not need it for 5 or 10 years, but you can start now. make sure that you put that with your will and your important papers. Get that going. And you should know that the benefits out there. You can check your eligibility if you know that you served during the periods of war, and get your discharge paper. That's all you need to do to, if it ever comes to the point for you to apply for it, you're ready to go. The other things, marriage certificates, death certificates, things like that, they'll take copies of, and it's pretty easy. But there's some strict regulations around the discharge papers. So I say, just send for it. And, they'll send you in the mail. You put it in your important paper file, and you're good to go. And to get a hold of your discharge papers, know the benefits out there and what it covers, which is quite a bit. And also who you contact to assist you with the benefit. Please make sure that they're accredited through the Department of Veteran Affairs to be able to assist you. That's so important. There are several thousand VA accredited attorneys. There's about 150 accredited claims agents, and I happen to be accredited claims agent, and the folks that work for me are. And then there's 9,000 or 10,000 veteran service officers through the VA. So there's a lot of credentialed people out there. You just need to make sure that when you ask the person if they're accredited, check it on the website. It's right there on the va.gov website, our names and contact information for the accredited people.
So that's a good way to sort of weed out
Absolutely.
some of the more nefarious individuals who are out there really trying to get your assets as opposed to helping you.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is not to say that all, let's group all financial planners or all, attorneys in one. Absolutely not. There's a very fine group of attorneys and financial planners, work hard and are wonderful. But it's the ones that aren't doing what they should do that are taking advantage of the hard work that they put in and I put in. And it's just not right. And I just have the feeling that the veteran is not their first priority. So, what does a 94-year-old person need a annuity for I don't know how many thousands of dollars? I mean, the only person that gains, my husband does my checkbook, so my finances are not my game, but I know for the VA, but I mean, the only person that gains is the person that's selling that product. So,
yeah.
And they're needed. They're much needed, but it has to be done by someone who understands not only VA, but also the Medicaid regulations for the state that you live in, the area that you live in. So there's a lot that goes into a claim, not just filling out a form.
So what would you suggest our veterans do who are interested in pursuing this?
Well, if they happen to be on, have access to a computer, they can do a search on Google, and more information is coming out. I would direct them to the va.gov and look under pension, and you can follow the rabbit trail, if you will. On my website, I try to present the information, I call it civilian style, so that it's easier to understand. And there's links to different areas that you can go and look at different things. And or look for someone in your area who's an accredited elder law attorney. Elder law attorneys are a good source, and they can get you where you need to go. So it's to educate themselves. And if they don't have the access, they might have a grandchild that has a computer, or a son or daughter. Ask someone to do the search for you. There's a lot of information out there. And just to learn the basics and find out if you probably know now, a lot of folks watching probably know if they're eligible, but the key thing is we have to make sure you're qualified. Mm-hmm. And so to learn all those things ahead of time. Because right now I'm dealing with families and folks that are in a crisis situation. And this benefit can make or break their ability to reside in a senior living environment or bring the care in that they need. And I guess the downside of this benefit is the services must be in place before you can apply for the benefit. So it's not, typically people when they go to buy something and before they buy the car or commit to it, they'll say, well, how much is it? Or, how much of a loan can I get? In this case, you don't find that out until you're already contracted for the services. So someone like myself, it's my job to look at when I'm doing my consultation, to look at all the different things and come up with my best opinion as if the person will qualify or not qualify, and to remove the barriers if something isn't stated properly. But the final decision is the Department of Veteran Affairs. It's in the hands of who's adjudicating or deciding the claim, and they're not necessarily medical.
It's a quagmire of bureaucratic red tape.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We won't go there,
but I mean, I think that's a good argument that you need an advocate to sort of guide you through it all. Yeah.
And and you get the folks. Oh, I'm just not going. Oh, no. I have a form for that type of thing, and. So you have to, everything has to be written on a form, a special form, and set a certain way. And the average people don't have that ability. And, this is not something you decide to do as extra, to help people with the veteran benefit. It's your life. Yeah. It's, because if you don't know the answer, you get the research, you get the answer, you're learning, and then you're getting the right information for the person that needs it.
Rita, we only have a couple more minutes. Your organization is called Veteran Files.
Correct.
There is a website?
It is. It's www.veteranfiles.com.
What would we find there?
You would find information about the benefit, who qualifies, what the qualification entails, and how to get additional information on different topics about the benefit and so on.
Are you willing to take phone calls as well?
Yes. Our number is 877-224-2791. It's toll free, and I'll repeat it, 877-224-2791. And we also have a contact form right on the website, very clean, very easy. If there is a question or you want direction, please, take advantage of the contact form. Maybe I personally won't answer you, but one of my other accredited agents would.
Rita, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Jay.
Wonderful.
I appreciate it.
Great to have you.
And I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the veterans and their families for their service to our country.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. My guest, Rita Files, the Executive Director of Veteran Files, here today to talk about a benefit that is available to some veterans. It's worth looking into, guys and gals. It's called the Non-Service Connected Disability Pension. If you go to veteranfiles.com, you could read all about it and see if you qualify. You've been watching Community Impact. We'll see you next week. Take care.
You've been watching Community Impact, a public affairs presentation exploring issues that are important to the community of West Milford and the surrounding area of Passaic County and New Jersey. Community Impact is a production of WFME Television of West Milford, New Jersey. The opinions expressed on this program are those of our guests and not necessarily the views of the staff and management of WFME and Family Television. Thank you for watching, and be sure to join us again next week at this same time for another edition of Community Impact.